Teens Issues Africa.
Health is a state of physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Continuous and uncontrolled depression may lead to mental illness. And this is why we need to talk about depression, because your health is a great as well. Recently, studies has revealed that suicidal attempts are on the increase among young people aged 11 to 21, and about 20% of teenagers, every teenager, experience depression before reaching adulthood. And remember that the adolescence age is a very unique and formative time where multiple physical, emotional, and social changes or challenges has a big role to play in their lives, including exposure to poverty, abuse, violence, and failure. This can help to make or mar a child, and this can as well play a very big role in making a child or a teenager depressed. So we have a whole lot of stories to share with you today, and they're all centered on one thing: depression. Remember, this is Teen Issues Africa, and I am Blessing Sam the Talk.
Teens Issues Africa.
Depression is real, so real in this present time, especially in Nigeria. It is so real, and that's why we need to talk about it. But let's tell a story that you already know. In 2018, a 31-year-old man who happened to be a taxi driver, and his name is Hamid Olojo, tried to jump into the Lagos Lagoon. He was later charged with attempted suicide, and he was far from alone. Now, 2019 was one particular year that saw a wave of suicides. And according to reports, majority of those who committed suicide were young people, students. Now, these students had lofty dreams about life and looked into the future with great expectations. They never thought life could defeat them. They worked hard and they hoped they would win all the battles in life. They loved and were loved by others in return, and life was indeed good and joyful. But at some point, their dreams began to fade and depression crawled in. Hope gave way to despair, while sadness took the place of joy in their hearts. Then came the chimney of death, and unfortunately they raced to it, and that was the end of it. But sadly, they left sore notes in their biographies, pains in the heart of those that loved them, and loads of questions for those who didn't even know them but heard about what happened to them. In May of 2019, the media was awash with the story of a 300-level student of medicine and surgery at the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences of the Niger Delta University, Amasoma, in southern Ijo local government area of Bayelsa State, who committed suicide for failing his examination. The student, who was identified as Osaka Ebiwani, reportedly dived into the river and drowned. Also, on May 15th of that same year, it was reported in the media that 22-year-old Chukwuemeka Kachi, a final year student of the Department of English and Literary Studies at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, committed suicide on May 13th. Akachi was a native of Nsukka local government area of Enugu State, and he was said to have had a long battle with mental illness. And it was also reported that the deceased had on 2 occasions drank kerosene and petrol in an attempt to kill himself, but he was rescued. Now, in a bid to make him void of the thought of taking his life, 2 of his lecturers actually took interest in him. They started counseling him. They created opportunity to have leisure time with him. But all of these efforts did not yield any good fruits. Now, on the fateful day that Akachi killed himself, he was said to have appreciated one of the lecturers for taking him out. Now, before he finally died, he penned a suicide note and pasted it on his Facebook page. And he said, Forgive me. In case you're the one who found the body, I'm really sorry. It had to be someone, you know. I have chosen Joe Nkeita's poem as my suicide note. They said you came looking for me. I didn't drown. I was the water. Where do atheists go when they die? That's the question, and he laughed and said amen. That was what he wrote. Another story is that of a 17-year-old boy identified as Amos Ibrahim, who committed suicide in Jos. He did this by drinking sniper. Now, according to report, Ibrahim chose to toll this dangerous path of suicide after failing his 2019 Unified Tertiary Matriculation examination. He was reportedly schooling at the University of Nations, a Christian university with branches in 600 locations in 142 countries, but was withdrawn by his mother, who feared he could end up being a pastor. Now, when he subsequently in 2019 wrote UTME in a bid to secure admission into a regular university and failed, as a result of that, he suffered depression and drank sniper, leading to his death. All effort to resuscitate him proved abortive. Now the story goes on and on and on and on. In 2020, in the heat of the COVID-19, a 22-year-old man identified as Dabo Toja Davis jumped into the Lagos Lagoon on the Third Mainland Bridge. Now, 10 days after this particular incident, another young man in a failed suicide bid allegedly jumped into the Lagos Lagoon. But thank God, he was rescued. Now, there are many suicide and attempted suicide cases in Nigeria, so many that I can't begin to mention. There was a particular story of a young lady who died because she was ditched by her boyfriend. The story is quite pathetic, but she committed suicide when the boyfriend reportedly said he was no longer interested in the relationship. But this is quite sad. Now, one may wonder how possible it is to hear or see people ending their lives themselves at times. There have been many reports of these suicide cases on social media, almost every time. But one common thing about all of these incidents is the fact that those who committed suicide made it known either directly or indirectly before eventually taking their lives. But people often realize it too late that such signals or threats were actually very real. It's quite unfortunate. But most sadly is the fact that according to a 2018 report, Nigeria ranked 15th in the world for suicides. Nigeria is by far Africa's most depressed country, already with 7 million people diagnosed with the condition. And at this year's World Suicide Prevention Day, it was reported that to have been an upsurge in suicide cases. And it's also quite strange and unfortunate that Nigeria, Africa's strongest economy, hasn't updated its mental health laws since 1958. And that's taking its toll. But the question is, these individuals, these precious, promising young people and souls that perished from suicide, was it worth it? Couldn't something have been done to save the lives of these people? Or better still, what can be done to ensure that people who are planning to commit suicide are actually saved before they eventually take their lives? And that's why it is so important we talk about depression, which happens to be a major cause of suicide. Beyond talking about depression, also, how can we help people to manage depression? How can we help people to see life and to understand that everything that life throws at them is in phases, that after this phase, another one will come and a better one will come, that nothing, not even failure, is worth killing yourself for, or even heartbreak, or even disappointment. So, but most importantly, let us know that depression is so real. And when you begin to talk about some people, be kind with your words. Okamaka Richard is my name. Thank you for listening to this story.
Teens Issues Africa.
I'm a psychologist and a mental health advocate. In 2018, I was in a situation, or do I call it a scenario, where I had people who I loved and respect look down on me. So people had a lot of stories against me. I know you may think that is that a story of depression, but maybe when I'm done talking, you understand how it led me to depression. So I was in a place where I was giving my everything, I was giving my all, I was giving my support, my resources, my time, my energy. I was literally living in that environment. But then all of a sudden there were stories about me that were not true. Trust me, stories that does not even make sense, right? So there wasn't stories about how maybe I messed around. No, not that kind of stories, but just petty rumors about me. But then I had an entire community believe the stories, and then they had a different impression about who I was. And it hurts because I was giving everything, literally everything to that environment and that space. So that led me to depression. So sometimes I am in school, I was in university then. Sometimes I'm in school and then I'll get a call from someone saying, oh, you did this, you did that, things I don't even know. So it was too much for me to handle at that time, and it led me to depression. I was missing classes, I was always sad. I'm a happy person, I'm a sanguine, so it's difficult to find me in that space. But that was the longest 6 months of my life. Imagine 6 months of terror, imagine 6 months of people accusing you, people saying all manner of things about you. And it kept me in that state for a really long time. Until one time, somehow they were able to drag my family into it. My younger sister, I love my younger ones. I love my siblings, my younger ones especially. So they dragged my younger sister into the whole story, and then that was it for me. So one day I woke up and I said I wanted to end my life. I don't know where I got that idea from, because I'm still enjoying my life so much that ending it is not even an option. But at that time, I wanted to end my life because I felt like it was too much for me to handle. So I woke up one day, wrote a note to my friend, and I said, I'm ending my life, I'm tired, I'm done with this world, I just want to leave. Lucky for me, normally she stays a bit far from where I live, but on that day, she was around my street and I didn't know. My intentions were to write a note, drop it for her, then when she comes, she reads it. Or, okay, it was a text message actually. She was supposed to read it and then find me. I always had the idea that even if I was committing suicide, I didn't want to be found 3 days later. I wanted to still look like a baby girl when they find my corpse, right? So, well, I sent the text and then I had a knock on my door. I used to make peanuts then. So I felt, oh, a customer or a neighbor wanted to buy my peanuts. So I told myself, I can remember very well, I said, I just want to give one more person joy with my really nice peanuts. You should try it out. Before I end my life. And well, I had a knock on the door and I opened the door. It was my friend. What was she doing there? I had no idea. She came and the rest is history. But that day, I was really going to end my life. You know, when you've gotten to that point, I'm almost emotional. I'm trying to stay sane and stay normal. But I really was going to end my life on that day. I had written the note, I had my knife, you know, I put on a really beautiful dress, just laying on my bathroom floor. I wanted to cut my veins, you know, just bleed till I die. That was the plan. But God saved me. He sent my friend to save me. And it's, well, as simple as this story sounds, it was 6 months of being depressed. You have no idea how difficult that was. But I'm fine now. I'm a happy person. I'm enjoying my life. So enjoying my life. Yeah. Okay, so instead of thinking of ending your life, before you do that, you want to talk to a therapist, you want to talk to a psychologist, you want to have someone, you want to have that friend that you can run to, you want to have that one person that you can confide in. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying you will never be in the position of being depressed. I'm not saying that life is always going to be so sweet and rosy for you. Yes, that's what God designed for us. But just in case you find yourself in a position where things are not going as smooth as you want them, talk to someone before you think of ending your life. At least if you talk to people, I'm sure that they might be able to help you out of it. So suicide is not the option. Trust me. You want to hang in there because eventually everything that seems as if it's so difficult right now has an end. Nothing lasts forever. Trust me. Not even that pain, not even that anger, not even that situation that is choking you. It will come to an end eventually. So don't give up on yourself yet. Hang in there.
Hi, my name is Anna Brima. I'm a lawyer and a chaplain and grief and trauma counselor in training. I'm here to talk about depression. Depression as we know it is a mood disorder, and it's characterized by so many things. It could be sleeplessness, could be anxiety, it could be a total loss of appetite and a total loss of zeal for life and other activities. I've had my fair share of depression over time, and several episodes are about of same. Sometime in 2005, I lost my loving mother in a plane crash, a tragic plane crash, and I think that was my very first experience as regards depression. It was even more tragic because I was seeking closure. We didn't get to give her a proper burial because there were no corpses to be retrieved from the crash site. It was a very gory site, and for so long I was held in that stronghold, seeking closure that didn't seem to come because I wanted to have to find something to hold on to acknowledge my grief, so to speak. So I'm here to talk about closure. Closure can be a struggle because it can keep you in a rut. It can keep you stuck in a rut because you want closure. You don't want to move on. It keeps you stuck in one spot. So closure is a coinage that holds people bound. So it's important that you find your own new normal. If you cannot get closure in any circumstance, find your own new normal. And a couple of times after that, I've had to go through depression again with so many sordid experiences. You know, when one is at the butt of people's cruel words and cruel jokes and even cruel accusations, when people launch a smear campaign against you, and when this comes from people that you trust, people that you have given your all to, people that you have served selflessly, people that you have given your time, your resources, and you have expended energy on, it hurts so bad, and you begin to question yourself, you begin to second guess yourself, you begin to wonder if anything is wrong with you. I've also been suicidal once in my life. I actually emptied a pack of tablets in my hand. I was taking medication then for migraine. It was prescription medicine. So I called a doctor friend of mine and I asked her what the dosage was and what were the implications if one overdoses. And it's important that I say this because my doctor friend said to me later on that she suspected I was going to do something funny when I placed the call to her, but she didn't probe for that. So if you get a call like this, you just never know. Please probe. And I emptied the whole pack in my hand, and everything was ready. There was a bottle of water, there was a glass nearby, and I filled the glass with water. I was about to swallow all the tablets, and I just heard a still small voice saying to me, "Drop it, don't do this." And another voice was stronger, saying, "End it. There's nothing good going on in your life. You'll never amount to anything. There's nothing worth living for." And I obeyed the still small voice, and I went to the bathroom and I emptied the contents in my hand, the tablets, inside the WC, and I just cried. I went into a crying session, a crying bout, and I cried under the shower, and I kind of felt better. And at the time I never saw those drugs anymore, so I had no need to take them even when I had repetitive episodes afterwards. And I'm amazed at how my life has panned out ever since then. It's amazing that the things that I was worried about, the things I was flustered about, the things I was apprehensive over are things of the past. I find joy now in my purpose. I find joy now in my identity. And one of the reasons for the feeling of listlessness is a loss of identity. I know why I'm here. I know what I'm living for. I know that my life counts for something beautiful. I know that I have a lot to offer my world and generation. If you are suicidal, if you are feeling suicidal, if you are depressed today, know that it's just a bend, it's not the end. Know that there's beauty that can come out from ashes, and know that your life will always pan out differently than you think. Your life will always turn out beautifully, and nothing lasts forever. I think that's my parting shot. Nothing lasts forever. Hold your head high, stay strong, and believe in God and in the best. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Onika Ntujakosi, but popularly known as Evangelist Nikki, and I'm going to share my story about depression, and it takes me back to 2010, and that was the time where, because mental health is so stigmatized in Africa as a whole, I didn't even know that was called depression that I was going through. And it's because I found myself pregnant at the age of 18 leading to 19. And for someone who's watching at home, you may think, well, people do get pregnant, don't get into depression. But that was my first relationship. That was something that happened without even planning or thinking that it would happen. And most importantly, I think if you understand my background a little bit, you'd understand why I fell into depression. I was that student, that straight A student, right from primary school, junior school, high school. I was the straight A student, the cream of the school. I was the student who was in positions of leadership. I was the student who was always contacted whenever they needed someone to address the assembly, and whenever they wanted someone to talk to the students, like motivate them. So I found my passion for motivational speaking very early in life because, like I said, I was the student leader, always in positions of leadership, the first head prefect actually at my primary school. And having this image where everyone looks up to you, where when the neighbors are talking to their children, they are referring you as the exemplary child next door. And then you find yourself going through something like this. I think, wow, it was really, really tough. I felt like I not only disappointed myself, but I disappointed my mom, I disappointed my teachers, I disappointed society. I just felt like I let everyone down, and I felt like there was no recovery. I didn't see how I would ever recover from this. So because of that, I found myself, for 9 months or 8 months, didn't go anywhere because I didn't want anyone to see me, right? I found myself hiding from everyone. I found myself just, stuck in a little corner, in a very dark corner where it just felt like the end of the world. I couldn't face anyone again. I wasn't eating. I wasn't my usual self. My friends didn't know what had happened to me, where I disappeared to. Only for, rumors spread very, very fast, so it didn't take them long to know. And I felt like the world was so unfair because, I wasn't the naughtiest child, if I may say. I just happened to fall in love with this guy, and just first time doing something, find yourself pregnant. So I felt like life was really, really unfair. And I can't even say, God took me out of that situation, because back then I didn't even know God. Back then I wasn't even the Nikki that I am now. Back then I wasn't being used by God. Back then I wasn't saved. So despite the fact that I didn't know God, God knew me. God still had a plan for my life, and He still knew where He wanted to take me, and He wanted to use me to reach a lot of people. So I didn't really find God during those times, but I found myself feeling like, there's still room for purpose. I can overcome, I can get through this. And eventually I did, but there was so much shame and stigmatization and a lot of guilt that I felt, so it wasn't such an easy thing to overcome. I think it took me like 8-9 years for me to finally be able to overcome that teenage pregnancy. It wasn't until recently that I found healing, I found closure, I was able to now speak about my experience to empower other women, other young girls who could be going through a similar situation.
Teens Issues Africa.
Mama, Mama Akara Chowe. Tell me, can you help me with that correct English, please? Moto down, Mama, Mama Akara Chowe. Help me with that correct English.
Let me say, go to eat Momsi Akara. They are failing, you want to fell down.
The question for the week is Moto Jam Mama, Mama Akara Chowe. Can you put it in correct English?
It's actually funny.
Oh yeah, funny.
Moto jam mama and mama akara
Chowe. Correct.
The vehicle hit the boat
Okay.
and the boat fell down.
Now we have a question for the day. Moto Jam Mama, Mama Akara Chowe. Put that in correct English for me. The car that push Mama. Okay. Mama Akara fell. No, the car that push Mama, Mama Akara fell. We have a question for the day. And the question is Moto Jam Mama, Mama Akara Chowe. Can you put that for us in correct English? I know you can.
Moto jam mama, mama akara fell. A car run over a lady and the load she was with for.
The question is Moto Jam Mama, Mama Akara Chowe. Put that correct Okay, just try.
There was an accident.
Okay. Are you girls trying to join your heads together? And give me the correct answer. Okay, let's try one after the other. First you. Okay, let's try first, okay?
There was an accident and Momsi.
Okay, and you?
There was an accident.
Okay.
And the Momsi with the mama.
Okay. There was an accident and the mom hit the mama. Is that the correct thing for you?
It's not
Just guessing. You're just guessing.
Yes, an accident occurred.
Okay, an accident occurred. Okay. How about the Akara Chowe?
The runner fell down.
We have a question for today. And the question is Moto Jam Mama, Mama Akara Chowe. Please kindly put that in correctly. Very try. Okay, try.
Please repeat it again.
Okay, Moto Jam Mama, Mama Akara Chowe.
Okay, like mama was hit by a car and Akara actually fell down.
Okay, Akara actually fell down. Okay, on the ground.
That's
That's the same thing. Okay, can you now say from the beginning to the end? Moto Jam Mama, Mama Akara Chowe. In correct English now.
Okay, mama was actually hit by a vehicle and the Akara fell down.
The question is Moto Jam Mama, Mama Akara Chowe. Can you put that in correct English, please? Just try it. Run it down from the beginning to the end. Moto Jam Mama, Mama Akara Chowe. That's correct.
A car hits mama, so the car hit mama and her akara.
The question for today is Moto Jam Mama, Mama Akara Chowe. Dorothy, can you put that for us in correct English? Moto Jam Mama, Mama Akara Chowe.
Okay, let me say, a car knock an old woman selling akara. And knock an old woman selling akara down.
So that's it for today. I couldn't find anybody that could give me the correct answer to that question. Moto Jam Mama, Mama Akara Chowe. Okay, and the correct answer is a mother was knocked down by a vehicle and a bean cake fell. A mother was knocked down by a vehicle and a bean cake fell. Remember that the correct English for Akara is bean cake. It's still Teenagers Africa, and I am Blessing Sam Etel. Do not move an inch from your TV set. Stay with us.
Teens Issues Africa.
Hello, my name is Nikki. I'm based in South Korea, but I'm from Botswana. I love Teen Issues Africa. Keep watching Teen Issues Africa.
Hi, my name is Anna Brima. I'm a lawyer and a grief and trauma counselor in training based in Abuja. I love Teen Issues Africa. Keep watching Teen Issues Africa.
Ciao, ciao. Hi, my name is Inyana Domi. I'm a psychologist and mental health advocate based in Calabar. I love Teens Issues Africa. Keep watching.
Teens Issues Africa.
Still Teen Issues Africa, thank you so much for still being there. We've had a whole lot of stories on depression, and I'm going to wrap up with this. Sincerely, a whole lot of teenagers go through depression or experience it without even knowing what they are experiencing. Okay, for me, at age 14, after I lost my mom, there were times I felt so depressed. I felt that life was not meaningful at all. Everything was blur, not beautiful, and there was just no hope of having a beautiful future. Life was very stressful and very tough. And so most time, while going to bed, I will say my last prayer. I'll just pray and say, oh God, please take my life. I do not want to see the next day. I had another option of taking my life, but I was scared because I know that when you die by killing yourself, hellfire is waiting for you. So sincerely, that was the only fear I had, okay? And so I just prayed that God should take my life. So every night I will sleep ready to die. And each time I wake up to see the next morning, I will be very angry. I'm telling you, very angry. But God helped me. He did not allow my will to prevail because He had this perfect and beautiful plan for my life. And I know He has such too for you. So time kept entering other times, moment to moment, event running to event, days to months and to years. And so here are we today. Guess what? I can't remember the last time I had ever thought of dying anymore. Not at all. Life is so beautiful now. So what am I going to tell you? I'm going to leave you with just one word. Just take some time. Okay? Time is the only definition, true definition of everything. Remember that crack in your life does not mean that you are broken. It only means that you're put through a test and you are not going to fall. Okay? And so stay strong and stay mentally healthy and help every young person around you to do the same. Remember that you are the very best, because if it is not you, it can never and will never ever be. God loves you, and that's all that matters. This is Teen Issues Africa, and I want you to do just one thing for us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Teen Issues Africa. Follow us on all our social media handles at Teen Issues Africa. For advice and sponsorship, yes, reach out to us on the phone lines displayed on the screen. And join us to prefer solutions to pertinent issues that affect the young people, especially teenagers. I am Blessing Sam Eto. Bye for now.